Good morning from New York. The mystic path is a path of feeling, of consciousness, communicating with yourself, others, your higher power, and your infant mind. Your feelings are you. That is your dramatic self that I talk about. And that is your conscious self. Your, your consciousness is about feeling, the one thing that AI doesn't have yet. It's a connection with your instinctive needs, your basic needs, your developmental needs, and it's a communication. And you're doing it already in one way or another. Your communication with your higher power is your, what some call prayer. Just a little talk with Jesus. Tell him all about your troubles. Your higher power, well, that's what you do in prayer. And and you're sensing a guidance coming back. It's a communication. And when you are in your dreams, when you're dreaming, there are people in the dream usually, and other people. So you're communicating with others within your mind. And something else you do within your mind is self talk, giving yourself a pep talk, mumbling your words to yourself, either encouraging yourself or not. Self talk, and everybody does that to some degree. So you're already doing, well, let's include the infant mind. Whenever you are just aware of yourself, aware of your feelings, meditating, you're in a kind of communication, a meditative communication with your feelings. And it's a feeling communication. So, if you love listening to a certain song that calms you, or you like just being alone and listening to the clock tick, or any time that you're just calm and relaxed, you're entering the infant mind. And when you're moving out of your drama of your daily life, in a language sense, mumbling to yourself, you should have done that, When you're moving out of that language, that's the infant mind. And as you relax, anytime you relax your face. And when you relax your face, you're relaxing your sense of a self, of a self that you would call a self, an ego concept. um, you're dropping it. You're having these, and you can have a Zen experience without ever practicing any of the things that the Zen teachers tell you to do. You're already doing all these things. And the practice of Echo Mind version of inner mind communication is an exercise. It's a mystic approach. It's an exercise of feeling. In other words, it's a communication of with your feelings. When you're communicating with others, and it's also about love. It's about a sense of comfortable, finding a comfort state. And so, when you're talking to others, it's a good idea to use compassionate empathy. And there's, empathy isn't always compassionate. When one baby cries, they all cry. That's just a natural kind of empathy that we have. But when you augment it with compassion, that's very helpful when you're speaking with others. It's an attempt to understand, respect, and care for that other person, which calms them down and helps them and yourself be more in touch with your feelings. When you're talking to yourself, basically it's very helpful to use objective empathy, because you're kind of being your own counselor, your own guide, helping yourself understand what you're feeling and why, and where you need to be going, in the future. Whereas the compassionate approach helps more with the present and the past. This other practice helps you with the present and the future. And that's kind of a communication with your inner counselor, expressing your feelings to yourself, to your caring, objective, good listener self, your adult self. And talking to others with who are important to you, you're either giving or receiving a feeling of compassion or love. If you're talking to others and you're giving love, you're communicating love, then you are being the caregiver in your life. And you're in that role. And when you're talking to people who care about you, in your mind, you're essentially being on the receiving end of that compassion. So these are major elements in our dramatic timeline. Like I say, you're already doing these things. This is something that you do consciously. And consciousness and feeling are connected. An AI is not conscious because it doesn't feel. You are a feeling human being. All right? So you're exercising your feelings in these ways. And when you communicate to your higher power, well, your higher power is the imaginer of all you imagine, at the very least, and of who you imagine yourself to be. And being able to be creative in terms of reimagining your life is very helpful. It gives you new perspectives, new opportunities, new viewpoints. That's your inner artist, your higher power. And when you're talking to your higher power, you're expressing your feelings. Okay. Now, these are different forms of empathy. Your inner artist uses creative empathy. Your inner counselor, your adult self, talking to your more emotional, dramatic self, I call it the kid, that when you're doing that, you're using objective empathy. And compassionate empathy is when you're talking with others. And the infant mind, well, there's how do you communicate with your feelings without using language, which undergirds your self-concept. Without language, you don't have a self-concept. And you want to reach that area. It's pointless to, yammer, and say, oh, I'm going to drop my ego, and, it's like, no. You have to do things that, in a way that doesn't use language, that still communicates to your feelings, and allows you to express your feelings in different ways without the ego concept getting in the way. And this is partly what's opened up. Some of these abilities and so on are more opened up sometimes with the use of psychedelics. And we hope that they experiment with this and find ways of integrating it into professional therapy. But this is almost like a different route, its own expertise, like a physical therapist. This, if you're a trainer in these kinds of communication, you're helping people exercise their feelings, which is very healthy, with a sense of control. And that can undo helplessness around the ability to give and receive love, and help to resolve past helplessness, which was produced when you truly were helpless. And that would have been, that's called trauma of some kind, right? Complex or non. Complex PTSD it's developmental needs. It's attached to blocking developmental needs. That's why they call it complex. It's not all that complex, is it? It's still connected to helplessness around your ability to feel. Your ability to feel is your ability to be conscious in a more integrated way. Feeling itself is integrating. Exploring these different perspectives helps you exercise your feelings, and it's educational at the same time. You can get help from outside if they're healthy, and that's probably more helpful than a lot of training, unless you're dealing with actual chemical imbalances in the brain, and certain severe addictions of sorts. Then you need a professional, but it's actually bad for your health to have someone on the outside in control of your feelings and how you're dealing with it. You should be in control. You should be empowered. If you block that empowerment that you get from doing it yourself, and doing it with others in your life just naturally, you're crippling yourself. And they've done studies. Just heard about that recently in this particular regard, where people who were helped with their grieving with therapy were worse at the end than someone that was left alone. We are hardy souls for the most part. We are survivors. If you're here, you're a survivor. And, to be able to help yourself and to engage in ways that empower you in regard to your feelings is very healthy. I mean, if you can't walk, you might need a physical therapist. Sure. They're going to help you, hold you up like they might in the hospital, have you prop on something and walk around. And only so far until you get on your feet, till your wing is mended, and then you should be able to let you fly, right, hopefully. But we've become over-reliant on people from the outside governing our feelings. That person on the outside doesn't truly know what you're feeling and can't. To some degree, there's basic empathies, mutual feelings connected to behavior, and especially behavior of the face. But they don't know exactly what you're feeling or why you're feeling it. They really don't know. And until you exercise your feelings, you don't particularly know why you're feeling a certain way. So it's very important to engage in this process. And this pattern that I talk about, that's the philosophy of echo love. And it shows you the importance of having the 3-generation input into a family. That doesn't mean cousins are not also important. And a village, it takes a village to raise a child, but that is like a core minimum of a healthy family structure, to have the 3 generations. And because that naturally fits into this pattern where the father loves with his teaching and the kids are in the drama. They're more emotional, more reactive. And the mother who loves with her compassion, compassionate empathy more. I mean, sure, all human beings have all of these. But even the little kid has some degree. But we're talking, roles within the family structure, primary. And since the grandparents are not having to do the instructing, the instructive care, and the compassionate, comforting sort of care where you actually helping the kid when they are overwhelmed with their feelings. You don't have to do that so much. You're going to do it some, sure, but you get the splendid opportunity to be a higher power in your family. You are playing the role of the artist. You can be creatively empathetic, or have creative empathy, and that means you when you tell stories to the kids and give them a different perspective on things. Oh, Grandpa, Grandma, tell me about the old days. What was Mom and Dad like when they were a kid? That's and and then you get the kids have the opportunity to see their parents as well, very human, and helps them be more forgiving of their parents' flaws. Helps them be able to laugh with the grandparents about uh, their own parents, and their foibles. All of this, because the grandparents raised them, they know them. They know their parents, and well, at least they know one of them. And the other set of grandparents know the other. But that's important stuff. Okay, it's important stuff. And yeah, so that's incredibly important to have that, and it's in government, it's in society, in the institutions we have. The media plays the role of that's more creative, looking at things from a lot of perspectives. Government is more about governing, and you have to be objective, and you have to reason things out, and so that's objective empathy, because you have objectivity and you care. You have creativity and you care. If you have compassion and you care, you act on it. Well, that's your extended family organizations, which do their best to help the kids have that village. Now you wonder what is the purpose of religion and so on. Well, religion is not the experience of feeling enlightenment. It's when you have a mystic experience, a feeling experience, you have an intimate knowledge of the source of all love, which some call God. You have a real sense of personal awareness and empowerment, the ability to be a hero of love in the story of your life. This is all empowering. I can't overemphasize that. This is empowering. If you like this video and you understand it, you can help by sharing it. And if you agree that we need more empathy and awareness in society, you can become a part of the community by subscribing. I've had some health conditions and things, and I'm not always available every day, but I try to produce a video every day, and when I don't, I try to make up for it. So you can count on videos coming. There are so many different ways in which um, this echo love can be applied, and this echo love inner mind communication, that you can go on with it, and we hope to have experts in various fields and things like that. Oh, what a dream to be on the channel. But for now, you get what you see, and I apologize for that in a way, but maybe I should have been more successful in my life earlier and gotten this message and understanding earlier, and got it dispensed. Uh, but it was a journey, and I did finally get here. And there are others who have too, I think. But this particular perspective is rather unique and in depth. And let's go to your feelings that you get from your infant mind, from your non-language self. That the other things that I'm talking about are kinds of role play that you can do consciously as a way to deepen your experience as the mystic that you are, your mystic health, and your by exercising your feelings in that way. And then the meditative approach, well, the meditative approach, apart from language, what can you do with your feelings? Well, you can be at play with them, which is what's developed in social, influences over time. An ability to create play, to be creative. And you can be at play with your feelings in various ways, and you can be objective regarding your feelings, meaning you can focus on them, which you can do without language. Objectivity requires thinking on a level that's a little more language connected. Sure, there's a lot more complexity there, but this is a general map, and it is effective and useful to the degree that it is, and I think that is yet to be completely explored and investigated. But I wish, but it's been more explored and investigated than many of these new therapies that they're coming up with. Because this is something that's been going on for centuries. And, people experience this in NDEs and in various mystic experiences, even in deep meditation. So it's in part or in full. This message of the mystics has been around for a long time, and pretty well tested. I think people have been doing it. As I said, you do it almost every day there, probably every day. Because you dream, you have these inner, you have this self-talk that you do, and you have this prayer type deal. Can you be an atheist and do this? Of course you can. You don't have to say there's anything supernatural about the role that I'm calling the inner artist. Imagine or all you imagine, well, it's at least the brain. But there's evidence of more than that, and you get that from, and it's you know, it's not as solid an evidence as a physicist might thoroughly accept, but there's some evidence of consciousness outside of the brain. Yeah, I said it. It sounds crazy. To me, it sounds crazy. But there's evidence for it, and I've experienced some of it. And you may have too. A lot of people experience that sort of thing, and they don't talk about it. Because people would say they're crazy. You're not crazy. Stuff happens, and maybe we don't understand it, but there's something there outside of our usual understanding of the brain, or current anyway. So, yeah, so I was talking about being at play with your feelings, focused on your feelings, and what about just expressing your feelings without language? Well, breathing in and out, being aware of your feelings and expressing those feelings in a way a baby would, it's like, ah, ooh, ow, it can be helpful. It can be helpful. And it helps you be in touch with your feelings. You're exercising your feelings with each of these 6 approaches that I'm talking about. Can you do some of these things in different ways than what I'm presenting, or what I found terribly, very useful? Yes. I've dealt with people, and I've been in relationships with various kinds, and I might encourage certain behaviors that I think they need for a more artful approach with their feelings. Encourage music, encourage them to try to sing, encourage them to his grandparents babysit. That's a communication between your inner child and or your kid from various perspectives, and what you do there, you experience inside. If the kid smiles, the kid in you smiles. That's the echo. When one baby cries, they all cry. Echo love. And echo love I like because it gives you agency. It sounds like something you can do. Yeah. And but it's also something that naturally happens. Both. So this is the presentation that I'm making. If you want longer ones, let me know. If you want shorter ones, maybe arrange that. Subscribe to the channel. You are a mystic. Don't be mystified by that. And it's not a big mystery. You're exercising your ability to feel. And to feel is to be conscious. You're moving toward a more conscious life, a more feeling life, and a more meaningful one. And so, I hope this clarifies some things for folks and helps you see how this whole process might fit in healthcare, for instance, or in politics. In politics, vote for people who are more empathetic. You know, don't vote for narcissists like Trump. You know, you don't have to hate them. You don't have to be angry with them. You don't have to be cruel. They have, objectively, someone like that, they're too damaged. And when a person has a lot of damage, they have this anxiety pain from trauma. And person in pain's more selfish. They just are. They're more concerned about themselves. And, that's not something to, hate them for. It's just, I don't hate Trump. I don't hate the MAGAs. I might find them annoying. But yeah, I don't vote for people like that, and I don't vote for parties that follow people like that. And sadly, the Republican Party is all following Trump now. This is insane. People whose drama has them, they're in a deep need of practicing their developing their mystic abilities to feel. They, so that they can have drama, which gives meaning to life, rather than their drama having them, which makes you a little crazy. So, sorry. This is not trying to be a put down here. Maybe trying to be a little funny. But it makes you, less objective, less compassionate, less creative. And you can see that, you can test that. You don't believe it's true, you can communicate with people who follow Trump. And unless they're just fooled, and if they're a big fan, and they know everything about him, and they're still a big fan, well, you can test these things and find out for yourself that they're lacking in these ways. It's fun and somewhat rough and tumble useful to us to have people make fun of us from time to time. Being able to handle a joke, about yourself or your own foibles is a mark of healthy mysticism. Yeah. So, and who's more empathetic, here in the United States? But this is a worldwide channel. I mean, you're all welcome, and you're welcome to join our Zooms and express your concerns in your own country. Vote for empathetic people if you're in a democracy, and if you're not, then struggle to get there. And this helps with emotional intelligence as well. Anyway, I like to sing my Irish blessing at the end of my presentations, but I think sometimes it's better just to say it. May the road rise to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face. The rain fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand, or her hand, or its hand, however you see, the source of all love. This is the mystic path, explained in rational terms, I think. So, and religion, its value. Let me touch on that again. Religion is like the finger pointing to the moon. It might awaken you to a need for greater virtue and such, but it's pales in its impact if you confuse the finger with the moon. The direct experience, which you can only do using your skills to feel your life and to help others feel theirs. This is the flow of love. Yeah. And I always like to mention the great physicist who said the universe, we are the universe, knowing itself. And that's kind of what the greeting and goodbye of Namaste is all about. It's honoring that wondrous fact in both yourself and the other person. That wonder of the universe knowing itself. And there are some who say that this kind of consciousness and communication is core to reality. And I would agree. But leave your comments. But if you don't see the importance of feeling, if you don't understand the necessity of empathy and awareness, this is not the channel for you. Unless you're willing to open your mind and try the echo mind intercommunication, inner-mind communication, it's not your channel. You're just going to be a mystic and unaware that you're a mystic. You're happy with that? Be happy. But if you want to be more reflective and you want to exercise your feelings, well, this is the place for you. And it's at least as important as physical exercise and proper diet and sleep. Consider it. And here's that greeting and goodbye. Make a great day today. Namaste.